talk about, some of the things that you do.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I was late. I was having technical difficulties. We're really fortunate at New Dorp because I am the school's athletic trainer, which means that I'm here for all of the boys for anything from a stubbed toe to a really serious injury. I'm here. I'm at the school 24/7. They get to stop into me while most of them show up at my classroom all day just to tell me if anything's wrong. I'm at every single practice. I'm also at every single game for the boys. They have a really nice facility that you'll get to see hopefully soon once we get into the school, where the boys can come in before practice, before games, where they can stretch and get treatment done. I also have a direct line to, if they do get hurt, we can get them into doctors way quicker than if you were to do it on your own. So they are very fortunate where we are very aware of our injuries. We try not to we take any injury lightly, and we're on top of it mostly with all of you. So I'm available through if you ever have to talk to me, coach can get you my information, and I'm available to talk to you about anything regarding their health and nutrition and injury wise. So.
Thank you, Miss Amanda.
You're welcome.
All right. Guys, again, we're so fortunate with having Miss Amanda there. Okay, she becomes, a lot of the times I have to yell at the boys because they become too attached to her. All right, and it becomes a little too comfortable. But she mentioned our training room that we have, okay, through our phys ed department. It's fantastic. We have a college level, okay, training room where our kids get treatment. Probably better than most small colleges on the East Coast. Okay, before we get into the question and answer period, because we're moving along, I think things so far so good. Okay, I just want to talk about what should I be doing right now. If I'm a 14-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, I'm an incoming freshman to New Dorp. Okay, I want to be ready, but yet, during this pandemic, what do I do? Okay, here's what you do. Number one, you check with your parents. Okay, because you're going to do whatever it is they say you're going to do. Okay? But I do know this, okay? I've been around, I've been to some parks, and I've been, I know enough. I'm not blind. I know a lot of kids are out there and they're doing stuff, okay? If your parents will allow you to be outside and go to the park and train, then you should be doing those things, okay? As a 14, 15-year-old boy, you should be active. It's just whether, I don't think it's kind of realistic to be housebound when it's 85 degrees out and the sun is shining, okay? But I also know in order to train to get ready for football, normally we would have our Big Apple games, which right at this moment, we don't think we're going to have. So you guys need to be doing some running. Okay, we need to be doing some distance running. We need to be doing some sprints. Okay, we need to be out there with a ball. Okay, if we're a lineman type of kid and we're one of the bigger, we need to be getting in three-point stances. Okay, and we need to be doing those things. Now, one of the things that's going to happen by you guys joining our Remind account, I'm going to be able to send you some videos and some information about some workout type stuff that you guys could be doing. And that'll help you along the way. But just staying active, okay? Watch what you eat. It's the summer now. Get out there, be active, go swimming, ride your bicycles, do those things. Stay active, okay? Because when the mayor or chancellor comes on the screen, okay, and says, hey, we got good news, and they're going to be believe me, they're going to be looking to take full credit. So they're going to go, we're starting tomorrow. So whenever that day comes, you don't want to be sitting there going, oh, my God, I'm not ready. Okay, you want to be ready when they tell us we can go. All right, we want to be excited about it. We want to be ahead of the other teams in that regard. Okay, so just be active that way. What we're going to do with these Remind accounts, parents, we're not giving you a definite date as far as the next meeting because what I'm hoping personally, and in speaking with Caroline and Christine, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get some information, something from up above that's going to help us to kind of guide us. So rather than tell you, hey, let's just have another meeting on July 10th and maybe be sitting there with nothing to tell you, all right, we're gunning for about a mid-July meeting, but I'm waiting till hopefully we're going to hear some definite news on some things, okay? But we will certainly be in touch the moment we hear anything, all right? Hopefully it's going to be positive news. All right, so it's 5:43. We still got some time. Okay, we can stay on there as long as you guys want. we're not going to turn away any question. But at this point, well, we're going to open up the forum now. And again, don't be shy. If you're somebody new, whether you're an incoming athlete, a parent, there's no such thing as a dumb question here, because I guarantee whatever you're thinking of, 10 other people are thinking the same thing and maybe just being a little shy to ask. Okay, so anybody has a question, lay it on us.
We have some questions in the chat box.
Yeah, so Nicholas Olson asked, what size football does the JV use?
Okay, very good question. There you go. I like that. That's a good question, because that's a kid who's looking to do something, right? That's a kid who wants to throw the ball. He wants to make sure he has the right one. All right, we use the collegiate football, okay? So what you're going to look for when you buy a football is it's going to have the words NFHS, National Federation of High School. If it has those 4 letters on it, you are good to go, okay? The football that Dorp High School uses is a Wilson 1005. So Wilson 1005. That's the model football that we use in our games. All right, that football will run you probably about $85. All right, but you could certainly go, well, I know Modell's ain't there anymore. All right, but you could go to Dick's or whatever. There's a million footballs. But any of those junior type balls and stuff like that, those are, you guys have outgrown that now. You're using Federation footballs. Okay, do we have another question? People are being shy. Okay, I don't want people to be shy. Okay, an obvious question that people might have is, hey, coach, are we going to be allowed to watch football games this year as a parent of a kid? And I think if you've heard my message from the beginning, those are questions right now that we do not have the answer to. But understand it, Dorp High School football is part of a greater thing, being we're part of the Department of Education. So whatever.
All right.
Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'll take over. I'm sorry, guys. I think we lost Coach Murph. Yelena has a question. When does training start normally? Everything right now is on a to be announced because of coronavirus. Now, what usually happens is we have our Big Apple games, which is our informal training the month of July. That runs from July 6th to about August 7th. That, as of right now, Kathy, start mute your screen.
Yep.
As of right now, that is canceled because of coronavirus, so we will be getting back to you as soon as we have a date. Okay, Kate Vlogs, how do you feel about kids playing basketball as well? Coach Murphy's kind of thought process with that is that we encourage kids to play sports during all of the seasons. We don't discourage kids from playing basketball. We don't discourage kids from playing baseball or lacrosse. Football is a fall sport. Basketball is a winter sport. So as long as they're not playing a sport in the fall, they technically wouldn't be allowed by DOE standards. As long as they're not playing a sport in the fall, they are fine. And we actually encourage one of Coach Murphy's very close friends is Coach Hopkins, who's the head basketball coach. Okay, Nicholas Olson, does football and lacrosse conflict? I believe I just answered that. Football and lacrosse do not conflict. Lacrosse is a spring sport, whereas football is a fall sport. We do weight training in the winter and the spring. And since Coach Gary is a JV coach and a lot of our football coaches also participate in coaching lacrosse, the kids do both. They work out before lacrosse practice and then attend lacrosse practice. Joseph Cavaretta, when do we usually start hitting? So, Joe, as per PSAL rules, we have to have a certain number of practices without any equipment. So a certain number of walkthrough practices, then a certain number of practices in just our uppers, which is our helmet and shoulder pads. And then we are allowed to do hitting drills. Every hitting drill that we do is controlled, and Coach Murphy teaches our New York style of tackling in a progression. We start hitting our pads, and we start doing like a whistle progression technique before we start hitting each other. And we don't really do those old school drills of like bull in a ring where one guy is just running into another guy and tackling. You know, we teach everybody. We're all NFL heads up certified, and we teach everybody how to tackle the right way. Joshua Hernandez, would wrestling and football conflict? The answer is no, Josh, for the reasons that I mentioned before. Wrestling is a winter sport and football is a fall sport. We have a JV football coach, Coach Vaccaro. He is the head wrestling coach. So the head wrestling coach is also the JV running back coach. Kelsey Myers, do we go to gym as a team? Okay, that is still on a to be announced basis with everything with coronavirus. What they're doing with might be a little bit different than what is traditionally done in gym classes. As of right now, we do not have a football gym. The kids earn their gym credit by going to gym as being part of it as a New Dorp student. Okay, those are all the questions right now. We are still here. We're still.
Chris, am I back?
Coach, you're back.
All right, I'm back. All right, great.
Go ahead, Coach.
All right, Chris, great job. All right. Hey, those were good questions. Those questions that Chris asked about kids playing multiple sports, we encourage that. Okay, that is not the case everywhere, but it is certainly the case at New Dorp High School. It is my belief, okay, in my heart, that the more sports that a young man plays, the better off he will be. Okay, the more situations you could be in that are competitive, where somebody else is trying to get the same thing that you want, okay, and you have to battle for that thing, I think that's a great thing for young men today. I don't think there's enough of that. Okay, if there was 50 more sports at New Dorp, I'd be even happy. Mr. Rusarito might jump off the building, but I'd be even happy because young men today just need to we need to compete. They're trying to soften us up, guys. They're trying to soften us up with all of this stuff, and we can't let that happen. Okay, so let's just talk about where it is that we are right now. Okay, when we sign off here, I'm really excited. I'm in like football mode right now. You guys, I don't know what I probably won't sleep till Friday, but here's the thing. Okay, everybody's got to make sure that they're signed up to their remind accounts. Now, each person should be signed up to 2 remind accounts after you leave this meeting tonight. The New Dorp football remind account, which comes from me, and the New Dorp football parent remind account, where you're going to be, okay, messaging with Caroline and Christine. Okay, those are the 2. You need both of those. All right? I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I don't want to be answering messages about the snack stand on Thursday nights. Okay, that's going to be the parent message. Nor does Caroline or Christine want to be, need to be answering questions about, which running plays we're going to run that week. All right, so it's 2 entirely different remind accounts, and they both do separate things. But it is very important if you're not signed up for those remind accounts. And listen, it's happened before. People go, "Oh, I'll do it later," and then they wind up never doing it. Okay, and then they lose out on information. And then listen, at this point, if you're not getting the information, okay, you're going to fall behind. Okay, normally another big topic tonight would be dues. All right, but because we are, again, will there probably be some sort of football dues? Yes, there will be. Okay, but we're probably going to have to adjust our dues based on some of the things that we may or may not be able to do. So the moment we get more information, we'll talk more about dues. But I would say this, obviously, if you're a young man, okay, or a parent who's going to need to put aside a little money for that, okay, you should start doing that now. Okay, in the past, our dues have been $545. Okay, I'm going to tell you now that our dues are going to be less than that this year. Okay, how much less? I don't have the answer to that right now, just like I don't have the answer to a lot of those other questions that we talked about. Okay, as far as a medical, okay, we use a specific medical form. I know maybe in some of your youth leagues, you may have had to only go to a doctor and he signs that little piece of paper. Richie is good, he's in good health, he can participate in all sports. Okay, that is not the medical that is used in high school, in public high schools. Okay, we have a specific form that we use. Okay, and like I said, they're probably going to adjust that based on the COVID thing. So we'll keep you up to date on that as we get information.
Coach Murph, Kate Vlogs just asked, are the boys required to go to sleepaway camp? Usually, obviously not this year.
Usually, the answer to that would be yes.
Okay, Joshua Hernandez, do the dues include personal equipment?
Okay.
Josh, can you be more specific about personal equipment? Go ahead, Murph.
Okay, guys, as far as equipment goes, let's just talk about that real quick. That's a good question because we haven't really touched that. All right, a player at New Dorp High School does not need to go out and buy anything for his own personal equipment other than cleats and his jock strap and protector and a cup. Okay, those things are personal items. those are all you're responsible for. So cleats and your protection down below, okay, as far as the helmet, the shoulder pads, the girdle, all of that stuff, New Dorp High School provides, and we do collect it at the end of the season. Okay, so right after the last game, we will collect those things. Now, I know in the last 5 or 7 years, it's become very common for kids to go out and buy their own helmets because of the concussion stuff. Okay, you are welcome to do that, but just understand there's some things that go along with that. Number one, New Dorp High School has some of the best helmets, okay, of any of the schools. Okay, our supply is, I'll put us up against anybody. Our school gives us great support. So every kid that plays at New Dorp High School is going to get a quality helmet. However, if you want to go out and buy the top of the line helmet in the whole world, okay, you can do that, but understand our helmets are a certain color, all right, and it's going to be a little bit of legwork, especially at this point. So we're in now, okay, mid-June. If you order a helmet now, I can tell you right now, if you order a helmet now, you're not getting that helmet until probably November, okay, because we use Rydell helmets primarily, okay, and they were shut down when the pandemic struck. They're a non-essential, okay, business, so they were shut for a couple months. So one of the big issues in New York City and around the country right now is in these helmet factories, a lot of high school helmets, because each team has to send their helmets out each year to be what they call reconditioned. That's inspected, repainted, all of those things. The Rydell factory right now is full of football helmets from all over the country, because they not only do high schools, they do youth leagues, the NCAA, and professional football. So right now, Rydell is working overtime to try to get these helmets out. There is not a team in New York City right now that has their helmet. All right? All of our helmets are in factories around the country, Rydell factories. So I would not suggest at this point for anybody to try to order a new helmet, because you are not going to get it in time for the season. I mean, you can do what you want, and the salesman can tell you whatever he wants, but I'm just giving you advice. Okay, so as far as equipment goes, like we said, we provide it to you, and then we collect it after the last game. Football jerseys, okay, at New Dorp High School, kids get to keep their football jerseys at the end of the season. Now, not every school does that, so you will hear some schools who say that their dues are a little lower than ours, and you'll go, oh my God, New Dorp's dues are more expensive than Port Richmond's or Curtis. Well, I'll tell you this, those schools collect back their football jerseys at the end of the season. Okay, we do not. As a kid growing up, I felt that, your football jersey is your football jersey. And, my girlfriend used to wear it to our games, and then my mom would wear it. So that becomes your personal jersey. So I think that if you've worn that jersey all season, you should get to keep that. You've earned that jersey. Okay, so that's what we do. So, but because we do that, because kids keep 2 jerseys a year to both their home and away, okay, and some schools don't, obviously that could kind of offset the dues. So, but again, our dues are very competitive with every other school. Coach, I am much aware of who we have in our program, and we try to be as fair to everybody as possible.
Coach Murph, Peter wants to know, does football and soccer conflict?
Football and soccer does conflict, yes.
Okay, Joshua Hernandez, do we choose our number on our football jersey?
As a junior varsity incoming freshman, that's going to depend on a lot of different things. In general, you should not expect as a freshman to choose your own number. You may wind up getting your number, but obviously, for some of you guys, we're meeting you tonight. I ordered jerseys, back in March. So we ordered jerseys before we even knew who some of you guys were. So, and again, it comes down to sizes. But move from sophomore year up, you'll have a pretty good say in what numbers.
And also, depending on the position that you play, there's certain numbers within that position that you have to wear a jersey number. So that also factors in.
That is correct.
Coach Murph, do you want to, if I'm a freshman right now and I want to do some football drills, do you want to just speak to the kids on how we post drills on Twitter?
Yep, guys, we do it a couple different ways. Good, that's a great point, Coach. All right. It really would be in your best interest to make sure that you are following us on our Twitter account. Okay? Coach Junior is the Twitter master of the PSAL. Okay? And he does a phenomenal job of putting up with him, not only him, but myself, okay, a couple of our coaches. If we see worthwhile drills on Twitter, okay, or, online anywhere. We will post those drills onto our Twitter account, and you could go on and just, as you're scrolling through your social media that every one of you do every day, you could see some stuff on there, and then all you'll do is try to replicate that to the best of your ability. Now, again, normally we would be working with you, but since at this point we're not allowed to, that's kind of the best that we could do is kind of show you, hey, do this. Okay, watch this video and try to replicate it to the best of your ability. But again, just being active and staying in shape and staying sharp. Okay, staying sharp, finishing up. Make sure you're finishing up your finals in your intermediate schools, taking care of business there. Leave your intermediate school on a good note, guys. Okay, don't have everybody saying thank God he's gone when the door shuts behind him. You want leave a great impression. Okay, because those are going to be the people rooting for you when they read about you in the Staten Island Advance. All right, so always leave, make a great impression on your way out. Okay, if there's anybody with an issue with the Remind account, okay,
so we sent a comment. Is there anyone having issues with Remind? A few people said that they're not able to do it right now because they're busy. So you guys can go back on the stream or take a picture with your phone. It's just imperative that you guys get that done as soon as possible for the next time that we all have to get in touch.
Yeah, guys, please don't put that off till tomorrow or the next day because things will happen and you'll forget and that'll be that. All right, so please try to get that done tonight. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, basically on the nose. I think we kind of covered most things. And again, if something comes up that you think of tomorrow, okay, and you go, oh, I wish I would have asked that question. Okay, obviously that's what the Remind accounts are for. Okay, you could either get a hold of me on my Remind account or through the parents. Okay, and they'll be able to answer all of those questions.
Coach Josh Hernandez asked, for gym, would it be normal gym class or considered football practice?
Okay, football players take a regular gym class like every other student. All right, but obviously with the uncertainty of what school is right now, all right, we don't know what the answer is what that exactly means. Okay, but under normal circumstances, right, a Newdorf football player would have a gym class.
Joseph Cavaretta asked, last year you helped Plainsman go over the opponent's film. Do you guys do that often? That was actually me, Joe. And we're planning to make that a part of what we do with the Plainsman to help give you guys an edge. I believe that was going into your Super Bowl game. We watch film pretty much every day, and we break down films with the players. We started this year doing it. You want to go over that, Murph? We did it pretty much every day, watching film and breaking down film.
Yeah, guys, we spend a lot of time. Listen, that's what football in 2020 has become. Okay, there's limitations on how long we could be out practicing. Okay, so we spend a lot of time in film. We use the Huddle program, HUDL. Right? Anybody that's been involved in youth football is familiar with Huddle. Okay, it's pretty much the system that everybody uses around the country. All right, and we use that. And we do all sorts of film breakdowns, and that's we do it as a team. We do it as offense, defense. We break it down by position. And then even at some points, I know there's been many times where I'll take a kid individually, or Coach Zagari or Coach App or any of our coaches will grab a kid individually and show him one or two clips here or there and say, hey, listen, look at this here. How do you think you should have reacted based on what you see here? And a lot of times that helps kids. It's just another way to learn. Okay, to be a great coach, you got to be a great teacher. And to be a great teacher, you got to reach kids on a lot of different levels. And Newdorf High School provides all of that. Okay, we hit you from a lot of different angles to try to get what we need to get accomplished done. All right, guys, I don't want to hold up anybody any longer. This has been fantastic. Okay. Again, if you got to reach out, you want to have a question, you could hit me on my Remind, go to Caroline, but please follow us on our Twitter. I want to thank Mr. Rusarito for being on here tonight. I want to thank our Parents Club. I want to thank Harry. All right.